welcome you here tonight for these festivities. We're proud you're here. A great crowd. We're so excited you're here to see about your hospital that you send donations to and our kids to. It's a pleasure to be here for you. We hope you make yourself welcome tonight. If you have any questions or problems, find some of us and we'll try to answer your questions. I'm Past Potentate of Greenville Shriners, Savannah, Georgia. It's my pleasure to welcome you here tonight. As we prepare to enjoy the food and fellowship evening, I want you to bring your attention to the screen affixed to the cafeteria walls. There you see a sample of the press coverage received by Greenville Shriners Hospital for Children over the past year, intermixed with photos of our fellow Shriners and some of the patients we have proud to serve. Tonight we have 4 patients with us. Hunter, raise your hand. John, Sophia, and Raelyn. Give them a hand. To begin this wonderful evening, we're privileged to have Raelyn's mother, Marissa Weber, come up and give us a few comments and share the positive impact that Greenville Shriners Hospital for Children has had upon her daughter and family. Marissa?
Can everybody hear me? Perfect. Thank you, respected Shriners, past and current honorable potentates, Masonic brothers and sisters, hospital staff, fellow patients, and families and friends. To be able to address you is an honor, and I am truly grateful for this opportunity to share our story. Raelyn was brought into this world 8 weeks early after I suffered a 50% placental abruption, resulting in an emergency cesarean. The medical team in Concord, North Carolina told me that had we been another 5 minutes getting into the operating room, we would not have survived. A week later, even though Raelyn had proven her strength and doctors were projecting an early discharge, everything fell apart. That's life for you, isn't it? As she was diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis just hours after her father called me with news he had been diagnosed with colorectal cancer at just 35 years old. For 6 weeks, we lived in the Carolina Medical Center and Jeff Gordon Children's Hospital, 4 hours away from home. Once discharged, we fought her father's cancer for the next few months, and I'm happy to report that to this day, he remains cancer-free. With the nightmare of 2009 over and having just celebrated Raelyn's first birthday, I noticed signs of serious delay, even with the expected 2-month grace period allowed by her prematurity and the experience I had with her older sister Rachel, who was born 6 weeks prematurely. She could not crawl, she could not sit up on her own, she couldn't hold her head up when she was laying on her stomach. You'd see a 3-month-old doing that. Her eyes, once straight, began to drift inward, so I took her to the Childhood Developmental Services Agency in New Bern for testing, where they determined at 15 to 17 months old, or months of age, she was only 7 to 9 months old developmentally. So we then went to East Carolina Neurology, where her new doctor ordered an MRI, and the results showed that Raelyn had periventricular leukomalacia moderately spread throughout her brain, meaning that her white matter in her brain was dead, and that sometime around her birth she had suffered a stroke. At the follow-up, the neurologist confirmed that she had cerebral palsy, later specified to congenital diplegia CP, meaning it affects her legs. We immediately received a referral for physical, occupational, and speech therapy through Onzo Memorial Rehabilitation Center, where Raelyn, she did her best but could only do so much at nearly 2 years old. At some point during these appointments, a man approached me, having seen me with Raelyn and Rachel, and handed me a card. On it was a picture of the Shriners Hospital. As I was preoccupied at the moment, I placed the card in my wallet and I explained our family's connection to the Masons, my father having been a past master of La Mesa Lodge and Albar Shriner, and a Scottish Rite Mason, my mother being an Eastern Star member, and I being a past-worthy advisor of the Rainbow Assembly in California. I never saw that man again, but I remember him to this day as an angel. Years later, after numerous failed attempts to continue her therapy through the school under the protection of her IEP, we resumed her physical and occupational therapy services at Onslow. Within the first month, we saw major improvements, as did the hospital. They were so impressed that they used Raelyn for the promotion of their therapy program because of her strides in recovery, which was later adapted into a local news story. She was a miniature celebrity. Before 2000, well, she's a cute one too, so without all the drama either. Well, except when she gets into it with her older and younger sister. Isn't that right, girls? Before 2015, Raelyn was discharged, having met all goals and graduating from their care. One day as I was going through my wallet, I came across the card again that the man had given me years before. I called, made an appointment, and was welcomed to the family of the Shriners Hospital. The doctors and nurses here listened to every single one of my concerns, answered every question, and never treated me as inferior or ignorant. They partnered with me in ensuring my daughter receives the best, most focused care available. Anything that may have been done incorrectly in the past, they remedied. And despite my insecurities and fears that I had somehow failed Raelyn along the road, they reassured me that I was doing everything right, that I was a good mother. While a part of me wished I had made the call sooner, I realized I made the call exactly as I was meant to. Raelyn has endured so much: a premature birth, eye surgery, numerous out-of-town visits to neurologists, ophthalmologists, gastroenterologists, physical and psychiatric therapists, and orthopedists, and yet she's excelled and defied the odds. She stands here before you without wearing her braces. She has proven every day that, like her two sisters, she is a miracle and a fighter. From scoring goals in soccer, winning local and state beauty pageants, keeping up with her peers in dance class in school, Raelyn is not disabled. She is diff-abled, a term my family came up with meaning differently abled. And through it all, Raelyn has maintained her unconditionally loving and compassionate personality. In fact, when asked by the physician assistant at her last appointment at this hospital what she wanted to be when she grew up, Raelyn responded, "A doctor that works here." The saying, "God never gives us anything more than we can handle," isn't true. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plan to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Like any good personal trainer, God adds just a little more weight to our load, but spots us as we adapt and strengthen ourselves to handle the extra pressure. He would never let us drop it, and as long as we do not give up, He rewards us for our efforts and our faith. According to Romans 8:28, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. The Shriners Hospital here was our reward for pushing harder and persevering, despite years of frustration and setbacks, and in the months and years to come, they will be the catalyst of God's love. To say that this has been a long road so far would not only be an understatement, but slightly inaccurate. I have never known a road to have so many detours and obstacles. Instead, I see this as a footpath, but not a beaten one, as no two people travel the same way or always to the same destination, and also in the sense that we have not been defeated. I've come to call this the unbeaten path, as every step is into new territory, and we refuse to give up and turn around, regardless of how difficult the terrain becomes or how impossible it seems to navigate it. My parents raised me to have the faith of a mustard seed, telling me that with it I could move mountains and nothing would be impossible for me, Matthew 17:20. When Raelyn was diagnosed as developmentally delayed, I was discouraged. When I was told she had brain damage and had cerebral palsy, I was destroyed. The impossible mountain stood before me and the summit seemed inaccessible. At times what seemed to be the height of Mount Everest also had the added length of the Appalachian Trail at the base. But not wishing my daughters to give up either, we walked the trail anyway, our heads held high and hope in our hearts. Because of the Shriners Hospital, we not only have a clear view of the top, but we have a tangible way of reaching it. Cerebral palsy is not a journey I planned on, but I love my tour guide. Because of Raelyn and my daughters, I have learned that suffering is not the absence of goodness, but perhaps it is the place where true beauty can be known. In our times of struggle and desperation, we can become the most powerful messengers of God's love. God bless every one of you for the work you do to support this amazing organization and the facilities they provide, not just here, but across the country. Without you, my daughter may not have the same possibilities in front of her. I pray that our being here and sharing our story with you will inspire you not only to continue your work for the Shriners Hospital, but remind those you know or meet who may be in similar situations to ours that they are only limited by the limitations they define for themselves, and they are never alone. To the parents here of other patients, I have a poem for you that a very close friend and business partner of mine shared with me. A meeting was held quite far from earth. It was time again for another birth. Said the angels to the Lord above, this special child will need much love. Her progress may be very slow, accomplishment she may not show, and she'll require extra care from the folks she meets down there. She may not run or laugh or play. Her thoughts may seem quite far away. So many times she will be labeled different, helpless, and disabled. So let's be careful where she's sent. We want her life to be content. Please, Lord, find the parents who will do a special job for you. They will not realize right away the leading role they are asked to play. But with this child sent from above comes stronger faith and richer love. And soon they'll know the privilege given in caring for their gift from heaven. Their precious charge, so meek and mild, is heaven's very special child. I want you to repeat this to yourself whenever you feel overwhelmed and discouraged. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. In closing, I'd like to share with you the speech that I wrote and recited for my installation as Worthy Advisor. It was entitled, Be Your Own Hero. This is our purpose, to make as meaningful as possible this life that has been bestowed upon us, to live in such a way that we may be proud of ourselves, to act in such a way that some part of us lives on. Oswald Spengler, German philosopher. What images come to your mind when you hear the word hero? Some of us have grown up with characters like Superman, who leapt tall buildings in a single bound. Throughout history, the hero has had 1,000 different faces. Mayor Rudy Giuliani once stated that people are looking for heroes and finding them in our firefighters and policemen, ordinary people doing extraordinary jobs. Even now, young men and women in our armed forces are preparing to go to war against evil and terrorism in order to protect the freedom we hold dear. Regardless of which hero image you envision, every one of them has similar characteristics. Faith is the common denominator of heroes, and courage comes from faith, says Dr. Charles Stanley, noted author and evangelist. It is born from a power greater than ourselves. A hero is someone who steps away from his own needs to help someone else. Knowing this, it makes it possible for us to focus our attention inward, seeking to find within ourselves those heroic qualities that we admire in others. Looking within is a tedious process that demands courage, patience, and perseverance, says author Richard Weber. The Bible teaches in 1 Corinthians 16:13-14, be on your guard, stand firm in the faith, be men of courage, be strong, do everything in love. And in Philippians 4:13, I can do everything through him that gives me strength. So what we need to find within ourselves is, number one, the courage to persevere, pursuing our dreams in spite of life's obstacles. Number two, strength of character, never sacrificing our integrity. Without honor, we have nothing. And number three, a deep faith in God, who has given us hope for the future and unwavering love for the mankind that he has created. With these three things in mind, we can now seize the opportunities that life presents. With our focus squarely on our Father in heaven, actively seeking his will as the blueprint for our respective lives, we can confidently forge ahead, being our own heroes. Life is a process of becoming, but everything begins and ends with faith. Some people never get to meet their heroes. I gave birth to all three of mine. God bless you and thank you.
Wow. Thanks, Marissa.
Thank you.
Past Imperial Potentate George Mitchell had a coin he phrased every time he reached the podium. I think it's very fitting tonight. In a great day to be a Shriner. For all the Johns and Raelyn and Melissas and all the people, the kids we serve, over thousands and thousands of them.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and look.
That's what our mission is love to rescue one at a time. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm glad you're here to witness that, those and ladies and guests. And have a lot more in store for you tomorrow. Right now I'm going to call up our administrator, Randy Longberg, for his comments. Randy?
Thank you, Mac. All I can say is wow. Last year, this night, we had about 180 people here. Tonight, we expect over 350 people here. And that just shows the great support that the Shriners Hospital has and the work that we do. Marissa, thank you. I don't know what to say other than that. You'll see other kids tonight and tomorrow, same kind of miracles. So that's what it's all about. I'm also the one who has to do the logistics, so I'll go to the logistics. We start at 9 a.m. tomorrow. We expect an additional 250 people tomorrow. So as you can see, we're a little tight now, but we're going to make it work, and we appreciate the support that you give to us so that we can do these things for the kids. So 9 o'clock. Please try to be here in time to do that so that we can get started on time. We'll roughly have about two and a half hours. We actually want to talk tomorrow about how we treat kids with cerebral palsy. So it's what we're trying to do each year, is a different disease that we deal with, and so that you can understand that and learn that better. So it'll be cerebral palsy. We'll have a number of folks as well as a couple patients to talk to us. But for tonight now, we've got dinner, believe it or not, after all those hors d'oeuvres. I do want to thank, I don't know if they're probably around putting food around, but Lauren Infante and her staff who run our food service here done an honorable job.